Just exactly what is gravity gradiometry? What are its advantages? How is it being successfully used in exploration today?
In some of our European surveys, we've identified structural changes at depth where it was unexpected by the operator.
Now, the added benefit of working with the FTG in this migration workflow is that we're modeling for depth. So we do get a sense of depth sensitivity in this exercise.
It's an exciting time to be over in North America. Obviously, we like being in other parts of the world, but it's good to see the planes come over here. And I know we've acquired a lot of data in Canada over the years, and so this is another great opportunity.
Hi, and thank you for joining this podcast by Bell Geospace. My name is Brian Main, and I'm very excited to join Bell as Business Development Manager for North America, mainly because they've got 2 systems flying in Canada right now. And I would say more importantly is that they've made some very significant recent developments and improvements in processing and interpretation of their data. We're going to discuss that briefly today, and I say briefly because we plan on releasing a more elaborate, extensive webinar, which will include more technical details and hopefully an exciting case study. We also don't want to take too much of your time today. So I'm joined by Bell Geospace's Colin Murphy, who is Chief Scientist, Richard Furnell, who is Senior Geologist, and Joel Purrier, who is Global Operations Manager. Now, I've spent I'd say a great majority of my career devoted to improving gravity data that can be delivered from an airborne platform. And when I say improving, I mean kind of the signal to noise ratio that's delivered in post-process delivered data and data that can be acquired from an airborne platform, meaning you could acquire a lot of data very quickly. I am absolutely convinced that this type of data can make a material impact in mapping subsurface geology and in exploration for commodities of interest today, such as uranium, gold, copper, critical minerals, and other applications such as geothermal and petroleum. Now, due to the popularity of gravity gradiometry in the rest of the world, Bell Geospace has been flying their full tensor gravity gradiometer, that's FTG, in places such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Africa, and Europe. And it's only recently that some systems have come back to Canada, and we're going to, or I'll discuss this with Joel later on in the program. But for now, I thought we'd start with Richard. If you could possibly describe to the audience who may not be familiar with gravity gradiometry, just exactly what is gravity gradiometry, what are its advantages, and how is it being successfully used in exploration today? Richard?
Thanks, Brian. In a nutshell, we map subsurface structural geology. We can do this really quickly by using our aircraft. Our instrumentation is the FTG, it's full tensor gravity gradiometer, a technology that directly measures the rate of change in gravity in all directions of the field. One of the reasons why collections from a moving platform is possible. That platform is the Basler Turbo Conversion's BT-67 aircraft, which is a modified Douglas DC-3. The BT-67 is really good because it allows us good productivity, fast mobilization, and the ability to fly low and slow for acquisition, which is very important. It also is big enough to hold additional instrumentation on board, so we acquire magnetics, LiDAR, gravity, and gravity gradiometry simultaneously. Gravity is a direct function of density, and density is a physical property that's most indicative of economic deposits. By measuring the rate of change of gravity with FTG, we're able to map changes in density in subsurface geology. The gravity gradient is very sensitive to the near surface, but this does not exclude it from deeper applications such as sedimentary basins, where we've had great success in targeting known basins and new prospects for petroleum geology. The collective response is also highly suited to locating prospective geology that may host economic deposits such as metals, which is of particular interest, obviously, to mineral exploration. The impact for exploration has been immense because we've been able to map the subtle density changes in the subsurface that indicate the presence of prospective geology. This has included things like the contrasts between different lithologies, especially impressive on surveys where bedding planes have been folded or tilted towards the subvertical, or simply the presence of an intrusive body. Contrasts can also be induced by structural changes, such as faults with clear downthrow, which creates a discontinuity. Lateral displacements, such as the action of shear, are also visible in the signal by discontinuities in FTG responses. We can detect multiple aspects of structural geology. In some of our European surveys, we've identified structural changes at depth where it was unexpected by the operator. FTG provided new information to exploration teams, and that allowed them to reevaluate their acreage and identify new targets. It's a great technology for completing a prospect's data coverage as well, where, say, only patchy data types have been acquired, mainly perhaps over mine areas, for instance. FTG's allowed operators to fly between them to identify their known geology in the data, and then trace and map responses or structures across a prospect for a very limited expense. In fact, it's not unheard of for clients to actually redraw their local geological maps based on the data returned by the FTG. Some of the FTG surveys we've performed have also been known to reveal mineral alteration zones. They appear as sharpened, low density responses, and often associated with the intersection of fault structures. Additionally, deposits forming